Hey everybody. Well, just like that, 2024 is running out the door. Hey, that rhymed. Anyway, it's been a pretty solid year for Transformers. I mean, shoot, it's the 40th anniversary, so I would hope so. But hey, we've had a really good year of collecting. Me especially. I mean, look how many episodes we got out this year. I do have one more planned beforehand. You will see what the subject is in this video, but as you know, every year we like to count down the figures we got this year and talk about who was the best, you know. I'm going to do what I did last year, and we're going to talk a little bit about figures that I got this year, but didn't necessarily come out this year, and then we'll get into the main event with ones that did. So, I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Number 10.
MPM Blackout. I kind of missed the boat on him once, but I found him at BotCon, so I wasn't giving that up a second time.
Number 9.
Fun Pub Shattered Glass Optimus 2.0. It's just nice to have a Fun Pub Shattered Glass Optimus in my house.
8.
Kiss Player's Convoy. This thing's not great, but hey, it still made for an awesome video, and it's kind of cool to own such a weird figure.
7.
G1 Slugfest. My absolute favorite cassette.
6.
Animated Sideswipe. Look for a review coming soon for this fella.
Number 5.
G1 Encore Sound Blaster. Body is so cool.
Number 4.
G1 Star Saber. Okay, now I'm just kind of showing off here. I had a really good year for G1 collecting.
3.
G1 Saison. I have a G1 TreeBot now.
2.
The BotCon 2010 set. Yes, I can do this. This is my list.
Number 1.
None other than Jetwing Prime. Stay tuned for a review on this guy soon, too.
All right, David, enough screwing around. Let's get him into the main list.
Now, I got a lot of enjoyment out of the figures this year that are on this list. But one had to be at the bottom, you know? So, I mean, it's going to have to go to Hotshot. He's great, you know, he's great. He's just like the original, but that's also his weakness. You can't really do much else with this design than make him another one of the original. But that's what everybody wanted, you know, and that's what I think I wanted too, you know. I mean, he just doesn't really have a lot going on, but that's to his favor, I think. He's really well articulated. The gimmick's still there. He's got the blaster, he's got the cyber key, and he looks great too. I mean, he's got a little bit more dimension to him. I mean, I know you can kind of see he's got a little bit more curvature to his original version that's a little bit more flat in comparison, but hey, I enjoyed reviewing him. Review didn't do as well as I thought it would, even though it was relatively new at the time, but hey, pretty solid number 10 start. This guy has some shortcomings aesthetic-wise, and if he didn't, he'd be a little bit higher up on the list. We're going to go with Transformers 1 Megatron. He was a sleeper hit for the most part. There's a couple aesthetic things, like how his hands are like oven mitts when they're not looking at any other angle besides the front. But overall, I think he's a fantastic figure. Also, his cannon being a little bit small, like he's kind of D16 more than Megatron, which, I mean, DNA is going to fix that soon. But, hey, this thing's fun. It's a lot of fun. The transformation's cool. It's got the jetpack. It's got the H-tank look to it. It's pretty great. So, number 9, very happy with putting this at the number 9 spot. Coming in at the number 8 spot, believe it or not, we have a repaint. And that's honestly the only reason it's at number 8. It's going to be Comet Grimlock. I love this thing. I got it literally as it was released. I pre-ordered it. It's the first pre-order I've done in a little while. But hey, no regrets. This is my favorite appearance of Grimlock, like color-wise anyway. So I held off on the 86 version. I held off on the Shattered Glass one. Didn't get the G2 one. I just wasn't caring about Dinobots that much at the time. So this thing came out, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, but I mean, it's so good. Like the figure itself's already fantastic, but the accessories he comes with, he's got the crown, he's got all the extra swords for the Dinobots and the rifle. I mean, he just looks fantastic with everything he comes with. Plus, that box that they gave him is great. It's phenomenal. It's got that it's the introducing the Dinobots cover art, and it opens up with the like Velcro book opening. But yeah, this color scheme is just fantastic. You know, I held off on a lot of the Dinobots at the time. Well, actually, I haven't bought any besides him. I really should get more, but overall, fantastic release. I really hope they do more Dinobots in this color scheme, or better yet, they do the maximum ones from IDW. Because, I mean, they're going to have to do new molds of that, but that would be another rendition of the Dinobots that I would be full on into buying, because they're so different. This was a figure that really fought its way into this list, to be honest, because people were getting it left and right, and I knew it was going to be mass release, so I just wanted to go get it in the wild. It took me a little bit extra time to get it because my Walmarts are a little bit slow, as are my Targets, but I finally got it, and he was fantastic. Had to go with 86 Bumblebee. This is now my definitive G1 Bumblebee in my collection. This thing blows the Siege 1 mold out of the water. It doesn't look like a bug as much. It looks just more like a compact car, which I'm fine with. You know, I'm not opposed to him not being a bug. You know, I grew up with 07B. I mean, that's just who I am. Sue me. But he's great. He looks great with Brawn and the rest of the mini bots. Just need to get a hold of Beachcomber and a few others, and then I think all we need now is Sea Spray and Power Glide, and I think we're set, and then we just get the repaints going. But hey, this figure was great. The transformation, the little trick, you know, with the Autobot logo in his leg, that's fantastic. The way he transforms, how poseable he is great. And the fact that he's not going to get scalped, for how good he is, he can't be scalped, because it's that what do they call it, the A-list release, where like the main characters that get toys like Optimus, Soundwave, Bumblebee, Starscream, Megatron, like they will all get extra releases to make sure they're not short packed out there, you know. So it's just good. It's just nice to know out there that we've got a great Bumblebee finally again, since, like, I don't know, Classics, I think, at this point, because I know there's a lot of division about that original Siege one / Earthrise one. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It looks good. It's okay. The feet are a little bit wide. Doesn't pose as well as I'd like him to, but hey, that was fine for the time. Now that this thing shows up, blows it out of the water. So, hey, number 7, gotta go to Bumblebee. One thing we don't talk enough about on the channel is the fact that I like Jazz. I really enjoyed him in the 07 movie. He's good in G1. Just doesn't get a lot of modern representation, mainly just because he died in the 07 movie, which for kids my age, I mean, I would get that, but now I think we need to bring him back a little bit, which is why I was happy to get this figure, which is Fans Toys Jive. It's a third-party representation of MP Jazz. It's not a new mold. It was re-released, which is why it's on a technicality, and that's also why it's so low on the list. Another reason why it's not in the top 5 is because it's a very complex figure. It looks great, and it does some really cool stuff. It's just hella complex, and that's why I can't put it any higher. But this is a great figure otherwise. It's got some different faces to look at. The articulation's great. The way he stands with the rest of the MPs is awesome. And the car mode is just to die for. I mean, it's actually just straight up a Martini Porsche, which is kind of crazy that they did that. But nevertheless, this is an awesome figure. Just really wish I could put him a little bit higher. Wish he's a little bit simpler in engineering. I'm really hoping we get an MP Jazz sooner or later, because, I mean, it's on the table. I guess they're just waiting for Porsche to stop dragging their feet on the copyright at this point. But hey, Jazz number 6. we are in top 5 territory. This kind of got flipped around a little bit. Number 1 stayed pretty solid, but these next 4 are going to be a little bit, including this one here, could be interchanged depending on how I feel. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and put it here. TF1 Optimus Prime. This thing's fantastic. I really have enjoyed my time with this. Just such a good representation of the model from the movie. It transforms well. It's got all the fun stuff, the Matrix, the axe, the articulation's fantastic. The head sculpt is amazing. Only thing is, I really wish they didn't do the Matrix the way they did it. I wish it could have at least been able to be held normally. I know why they couldn't do it. I just really wish they could. Only thing is, I hope they remold it into some kind of Orion Pax. Maybe make them a little bit thinner here and there. But overall, this is fantastic. Really good piece with Megatron. They look great together. I just really wish they'd get the rest of the characters out now instead of making us wait. It's really unfortunate they're going to make us wait till May to get the rest of the characters, which is just, it's ridiculous. But hey, number 5, Optimus Prime from Transformers 1. It's been a little bit since Titan made the list, which is, you know how it be. But hey, had to do it. Armada tidal wave, or Legacy tidal wave anyway. But good lord, this guy's great. I mean, he's accurate to how he used to look. He's a little small. Who cares? But hey, he's accurate how he's supposed to look. He has the ability to do the combination thing with Megatron, which is nice and not compromise. Well, not completely compromise the robot mode. But hey, it works so well. It looks great with the other Armada guys. I could not be happier with the way this turned out. And the robot mode is awesome. Just awesome. And it does the whole twitching titty thing with the turrets. It just does everything you could possibly want. The Dark Fleet, the base mode that they didn't even have to throw in, that they still put in. What more could you want, you know? I mean, just maybe make him a little bigger, but I don't know. But hey, this guy's great. Couldn't complain. My number 4 spot's going to Legacy Tidal Wave. Now, this number 3 spot could have, number 3 and 2 could have been interchanged. There's no debating that. Just number 3, I think, has to go to this one purely because it's a little controversial even to be this high on the list. But I'm going to explain myself a little bit. MP44S made this list. Let me tell you why. This thing fixes every problem that the general consumer had with the standard MP44. This is a fantastic figure. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what big ticket reviewer says that it's not worth your money to get this because of the QC issues, the overcomplication. Okay, listen. Overcomplication does not mean that it's a bad figure. It's complex, but it's doable. If you follow the instructions, it's doable. It's struggle on camera. And that's the one thing that a lot of reviewers are getting wrong. They're mixing their ability to mess with it on camera with the ability to mess with it outside the camera. When I'm not filming this thing, it's really not that difficult to mess with. Yeah, it's a little time consuming, but really, there's a lot of figures out there that are just like that. Even general release. I'll tell you this, the Sonic collab that's about to come out, those are going to be a little bit time consuming because, they're some of the most steps we've gotten on a smaller release in a while. They're roughly going to be deluxe size, and they're 31 and 37 steps a piece. That's crazy for a deluxe these days. But hey, this guy's got great accessories, essential ones, the alternate head, the toy colors are great on this. Look at that on camera. Tell me that does not look good. That looks absolutely awesome. He's got yellow eyes for the toy colors. man, I could not complain about this. They fixed the knees. He's not as wibbly as I mean, he's a little bit wibbly, but he's a lot more solid than the original. He's not banging together as much. You know, you have to try. I mean, what more could you want? You know, he's just a perfect cartoon accurate representation of Optimus Prime. And besides third party wanting to kick its dick in every 5 seconds, I mean, it's pretty well definitive. You know, the only one that could possibly beat it would be MP10, and even then it's really close. You know, it just depends on what you want. And for my money, I sold off my version of MP10 and went with this because I like it a lot. So I'm going to probably hunt down a trailer for this guy and then call it a day and keep this as my MP44. Because, man, he's great, you know? I mean, they even cut the price out by getting rid of the electronics. Because he doesn't need that, you know, to be good. He really doesn't. But, hey, number 3 spot, MP44S. This number 2 spot might as well be number 1 for all of Legacy because I think it was personally that good. And this is a Beast Wars figure. Beast Wars character. Magmatron is awesome, you know. I really did not see myself liking him that much, which is, it makes sense because I have not enjoyed like that many of the Beast Wars figures since they started coming out in like War for Cybertron and Legacy. I didn't like Inferno that much. I really did not care for Cheetor or Rhinox or any of those guys. I liked Primal, but not many of the other ones. The only one I actually liked other than this was Wild Convoy, but this thing just knocks it out of the park. At a commander scale, it does the combination well. It almost gets away with, like, because this is technically faux parts even on the animation model, so it actually made all of this work down to the hands going in the right, like, wow, like, just wow. Got the spark crystals in, the head sculpt's fantastic. I mean, there's really not much else I could complain about on this guy. The ratchets are a little creepy sounding. There's one ratchet in here somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. I hate this shoulder ratchet. It's really creepy. It really sounds sketchy, and I think it's because it's a plastic ratchet. But overall, this, in all of its modes, looks awesome. It's a great toy to mess around with. And if you don't have one yet, I strongly recommend you hunt him down because he is just that good. So, number 2 is going to Legacy Magmatron. Number 1. This has probably been my most anticipated official Transformers release in probably over a decade, just because I've started following the news a lot more recently, especially coming a YouTuber after my first TFCon. This figure just blew my mind as it came out. Not just because of what it meant for me as a collector, but as a fan as well. MPM Brawl is a near perfect figure. This is faithful, scary, like almost scary how faithful this is to the live action model. I saw the blueprint CAD type thing that they had out. They showed it next to the actual model, the actual ILM model. It is almost, besides the little bit of bulk it had to have to be a transforming toy, this is almost spot on to what it should be to be a completely accurate collector's item level of transforming figure, besides going to like 3-0. This is perfect. They have they to match the paint to start, they went and grabbed the actual paint that they put on the tank from a hardware store, I believe, and matched it on the prototype. After seeing, and even speaking of the prototype, I knew I was going to love this thing after seeing the prototype. That's how long I've been waiting for this thing. We saw the prototype, I think, in 2023, I believe, was when we saw it. And just from everything this thing can do, from the arm detaching, and you can put the little nub on there for when Ratchet cuts his arm off, to knocking off one of the missile launchers, his mouth opens like so. I mean, just look at that. It's such a great looking figure, and the tank mode is to die for. The tank mode is so nice. It's got the blast effects too. I mean, you just cannot go wrong with this release. And even better, this rounds off the 07 cast. I mean, besides Frenzy, but this rounds off the 07 cast to a T. We now have every single character that was in that movie, which means we now have a definitive collection of the 07 characters and just about every form of price point. I mean, we've got the Studio Series. You've got the originals. You want to track those down. I mean, I do have those. I don't have the Studio Series, but I do have the originals. And then you've got the NPMs. You've got Bone Crusher, Megatron, Starscream, Blackout, Brawl, Ratchet, Ironhide, Jazz, Bumblebee, and Prime, all in the NPM forms. You don't have a decent representation of Prime yet, but everyone else, just fine. Everybody else is solid. I'd really like to see another go at Prime, but if they don't, I'd be satisfied. He still looks good standing on a shelf, but hey, Brawl is a great way to wrap up those original movie bots. And just, I love this thing. It's gonna be hard to beat next year. They're gonna have their work cut out for them next year to see what they can do besides this. This figure, wow. So yeah, that was my list. You can post in the comments if you want, because I know none of you probably agreed with my number one pick. Because I think I'm like one of the only people out there that bought this. Like I should say, recently bought this, because I know a lot of my friends got it early. If you wanted it, you probably pre-ordered it, or you got it like right as it was available, you know. But hey, I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what your number one was. How much of this you agreed with. But hey, it's been awesome. I look forward to doing more of this next year. We had a great time this season. Season 3 was awesome. Loved it. Thank you guys for getting me 1,000 this year. It was awesome. And thanks for getting me over 1,000 even. I mean, we hit 100, like 1,100, like that. But it's all thanks to you guys. You guys helped me out a lot. And all those I met at the conventions this year, thanks for coming up to me. And to all my friends, all my collaborators, TJ, Patriot Prime, Kato, Fire Talks, Bert, all of you guys, thank you so much. And thank you, Nod. Thank you, Arjun, Evangelist, Ultra Primal, Dr. Lockdown, Paper Plane, everybody. Just thank you so much for being there for me this year and as we got through all this fun stuff. So, well, until next time, keep growing your collections, and TreeBot out.